Hey everyone, welcome to July's vlog. I am doing it a little bit earlier than I have been because the last couple of months I've left it until right at the end of the month, and then it's just been a little bit stressful, so I decided to do it a little bit earlier. And to be honest, I actually wasn't going to start filming until Wednesday rather than doing all 7 days. I have lately only been doing my 5 working days, but I actually did get an order today, or something I placed an order for, and I wanted to open it on camera, so I will be doing that. It has been a really busy day today as well. I got up quite early because just before we went off on our mini break, which was absolute heaven, we both really needed this mini break away. I got a phone call from Aroma, who is one of our candle supply places here, and they told me that my custom jars were ready for collection. I put the order in, I think it was in March. This isn't the ones I get, but I use this type of jar, and I've got my business name printed on them, and then I have metal lids to go on them as well. I had the metal lids a couple of weeks ago, and then the jars came in just before we went to go away, and I felt so bad because some people get their jars custom printed through Aroma and then they leave them sitting there for months because they've got nowhere to store them, and just expect the warehouse to store these jars. It's so rude of them, and I've often said to them, I think it's rude, and then I get my jars, it's like I can't get them until the 17th, but they said, you know, you've always collected them within days of us telling you, so it's fine, we'll look after them. So I headed off to go and get my jars this morning, and then I popped into the showroom as well, so I could go and have a smell of their new fragrances, and it has to be one of the best collections they've released this year. I wasn't too impressed with last month. They were all like perfume dupes, and I do not do perfume dupes of fragrances. So I wasn't too impressed with the last few releases, but this one, they were a mix of spa and country inspired fragrances, and they were perfect. Loved them, but I had to decide which ones. I ended up getting 3 spa and one of the country sounding, I think it was Aruba that I got. And I do have very specific plans for these fragrances. So I did that this morning, come back, walked Miss Lucy, and then I've just been pottering around doing a few things. I'm just at the moment editing a video to put up onto Patreon, just something I found out on my little trip. So I'm just waiting for that to load. So I thought we might open this parcel here. So George, who runs Dawn Organics, I do talk to him a lot. He's a wealth of knowledge, and he's a really good friend as well. I've been talking to him for a while. He has just released a new section onto his business called King of Suds, and I've been pestering him for ages, asking when he was going to release these soaps because I really wanted to try them. Oh gosh, this smells absolutely amazing just opening it up, but I really wanted to try these new soaps that he's released because he's been telling me about an oil that he is using, and he's been trying to convince me to use it as well, but because I have all of my packaging now custom printed, it's not as easy to actually just change your recipes once you do that. So I said I wanted to try his, and then maybe I will come up with a couple of limited editions, well, not limited edition, I will come up with other recipes, and then if I really like them, then I will get the packaging done for them as well. But really keen to try these soaps, and also to support him as well, because he has actually offered me a lot of advice, and recently he just helped me with something on my website which actually saved me a lot of money. So thank you, George, for doing that. You've got no idea just how much he saved me. So I really wanted to give him a little bit of support back. So what have we got in here? Let me bring you down a bit closer so you can get a better look. We'll move the teacup. Now I really do wish we had smell-o-vision because this smells absolutely amazing. What I love about George's stuff, and I have said this before when I've had stuff from him as well, George is one of the very few people I have ever come across who does essential oil products well. To me, whenever I smell essential oil soaps, and I've smelt them at lots of various places, even though they have different essential oils, they all essentially smell the same. I can never pick up the different oils in different things. Even though I know what the different oils smell like and I can distinguish them when I smell the raw essential oils, to me, when people start blending essential oils into soaps and bath and body products, they generally always smell the same. And George has been one of the very first makers I have ever come across that uses essential oils in soaps, and each and every one of his soaps smell differently. It is absolutely amazing, and what's coming out of this box is so good. I can smell the mint and stuff in there. It's really good. So let's have a look. So what I really wanted to do was I wanted to get his new range of soaps, which is the King of Suds. And with his King of Suds stuff, so George has very much done a lot of natural based soaps. And I say natural because everyone has very different opinions on what natural is. So George has very typically used essential oils, clays and things like that. What most people don't actually understand is that a lot of the micas that we have available to us to color soaps, like this is one of mine, unless a mica is actually listed as synthetic, mica is actually a natural colorant. So I did a whole heap of research into this, and I discovered that the reason we pay so much more for these synthetic, really shiny micas is because it actually costs them a lot of money to make synthetic mica in a laboratory, whereas natural mica that is out in our environment is really cheap, and it's natural. And then the colors from our micas come from natural oxides such as tin oxide, iron oxide, all these other natural colorants. But for some reason people have put out there that micas are not natural colorants. The only time a mica is not natural is if it is listed as synthetic and it has this really big long word in its description of fluoro something or other. I'll put it on the screen, it's much easier. But anyway, back to George's soaps. He has for a very long time done soaps which have predominantly used essential oils, have used clays and that sort of thing to colour. But he has enjoyed also playing with fragrance oils and micas, and he decided to create the King of Suds soap range, which allows him to play with those colorants, but still also have his other range, which people do consider to be more natural because for whatever reason hasn't got mica in it. So let's have a look at what I've ordered and what he has actually also sent a couple of extra as well. I really wanted to try these King of Suds because these were the ones where it's got the oil in that he wants me to have a go at, and I want to feel it first before I actually go ahead and make it. And to be honest, the oil that he's encouraging me to use is very on par with my branding, so I really do want to have a go at it, but I also wanted to have a feel of it in his soaps as well. So this one is a sandalwood and cedarwood with organic oat milk in it as well, and oh, it smells really nice. I know this one's safe from hubby. Hubby often steals soaps that I get, but I know he won't steal this one because it's my sort of smell, not the smell he likes. He likes fruity smells. I also ordered the oat milk and honey because that one just sounded and looked looks beautiful. Look how creamy and gorgeous, and it feels really nice just like that. And I love his packaging. He has all these boxes made and he's been working really hard on doing his labels and stuff as well. Absolutely love how that's come up. And then the other one, so I ordered the 2 King of Suds ones to give those a try, and he's got, I think there were 5 in the range, and there'll be more coming, I suspect. But I was also intrigued by this one. This one is an Australian black soap. It's unscented, uses coconut milk as well, and on his website it says that he does all the plantain and stuff for it. You have to smell stuff. Even when it says unscented, you have to smell stuff. But I'm really looking forward to using that. I've read a lot about black soap, but I've never had the opportunity to use one. And I just thought, right, he's got one, I am going to get myself one. So I will definitely be hiding that one from hubby so I could try it. Now, George has actually sent me soaps in the past, and his soaps are just so nice. But one of the ones he sent me in the past was one of his ocean water ones, and that went into hubby's shower. We actually have separate bathrooms. It's just the 2 of us. We have 2 bathrooms in the house. We each have our own bathroom. But the ocean one went into his shower, and I never got to use it, but he kept telling me how good it was. Oh, so I decided I would actually order myself an ocean one too. The one I ordered was the Blooming Breeze, which has French lavender and rose geranium with cedarwood, peppermint and petitgrain, and it smells so nice. And like I said, when you smell George's soap with essential oil, they all do smell very, very different. I just absolutely love his new packaging as well. It all just looks so wonderful. This one, I think this is the other one I actually ordered. This one was called a chocolate soap bar, and it's got olive and I think it's this one. Yep, cocoa butter, cocoa bean powder, and it had mint. Oh, and it smells so good. I love chocolate and mint. So this is how he used to package them, with the bands around it, and now he's actually got all of his boxes which he's now using. So he's like me, we're all experimenting as we grow and picking up new packaging. So I did order that one as well. Very much looking forward to using that one. Alright, so they're the 5 that I actually did order from George, and he has sent me a couple of extras here as well, which I'm really grateful for. Last time he did send me soaps to have a try of. As mentioned, hubby did take off with one of the ocean water soaps, which I was really, really keen to try. There was only one ocean water one in there, and it ended up in hubby's bathroom. Didn't get to try it, but he did tell me how good it was, and I had this joke with George about it. So he's actually sent hubby his own ocean soap. So, and I think he'll really like this one. It's got peppermint in it, and he really likes peppermint stuff. So hubby can have that one for his bathroom, and I'll have the other one. I want to know, let's go for this one first. He's written something. Rainbow ice creams. So he's actually told me about a new fragrance from one of the suppliers. That it goes weird in soap but smells really nice. I can see, oh, that is nice. I can see what he means. It's got a rough texture, which must be from the from it, but yeah, it does smell really good. You have to keep going back to it. It's got like a really sweet, fun child fragrance, but not overly sweet. Oh, I really like that. Oh, I like that one. And then what's in this one? Let's see. I've got another one in a box. I don't think there's a message on this one. No, there's not. This is a cocoa olive and coconut milk orange blossom soap. That sounds really, really nice. Just seeing what's in there. So George's soaps are really, really nice. In fact, oh wow, that's I really, really, really like that. So he has actually used one of the natural fragrances, and he does actually have some natural fragrances available on his website, and then he's also put in a bit of cedarwood in there as well. Now I'm also really keen to try George's soaps, because since the last time he sent me his soaps to try, he's also put in quite a few extra additives in there, and I'm really keen to see what they do for the soap. And there are a lot of chelators which hold minerals in from out of water, so you don't get soap scum and all of that sort of stuff. So really interested to actually try those out. So thank you, George, for sending me all those extras. Really looking forward to trying everything there, but I'm definitely going to start with one of the King of Suds first, so that I can see what this soap actually feels like with this other oil in there. If you haven't already, go and check out George from Dawn Organics. He is such a wonderful guy. He's got tons of videos on his YouTube channel, lots of great information. He's an absolute wealth of information when it comes to doing things like essential oils in soaps, and he also has a wonderful Facebook group page as well. I'm not in very many group pages because I don't like the atmosphere that are in a lot of them, but George's group is so calm and relaxed, and so much knowledge in there as well. So go and check him out, give him a bit of a support as well, and if you can, try and order some of his soaps, because they really are, like, they are fantastic. I don't often go for the essential oil soaps because, like I said, I think they all smell the same, but George's soaps are just absolutely fantastic, and he works magic with those essential oils. And he is one of the people who have really encouraged me to actually start experimenting with essential oils a lot more, which is why you're starting to see those sort of blends come into my range. But anyhow, I am going to carry on with my work, because one thing I have learned about my vlogs is that I talk too much. So I know you guys love it, but that's why they keep ending up super long. I'm going to go finish this little video that I'm doing for the Patreon channel, and then it's almost Miss Lucy's dinner time, so we'll be doing that. And then next time you'll see me, I will be in the shop. I do have some exciting things to share. They actually happened last week, but I will share them with you this week, and hopefully it's going to be a busy week. So let me get on with working. As you can see, we are down the shop. So it is Wednesday, the start of my actual official working week. I got up nice and early this morning and took Lucy for a walk. It was a little bit chilly with a little bit of a mist, but it was still really, really nice out there, and she really enjoyed her walk today. Got back, had a bit of breakfast, cup of coffee, read my book, and came down here. And we've got lots to do, at least today and over the next couple of days as well. I've got a soap over here that needs actually unmolding and cutting. I have some new bags. I did these up yesterday after I went to the candle store just around the corner in the same estate is Imagine Vinyl. So I popped in there and I saw this pack of vinyl and I thought I have to have it. I knew exactly what I wanted to create with it, and then last night I was actually playing. So I've got 3 of those to put labels on and out onto the shelf today. I also have one other thing I was playing with yesterday on the X-Tool machine, and I will actually do a video showing how I'm doing this sort of stuff as well. I already sell these little wooden soap trays. This is my photo display one. So I sell those, and I decided to have a go at actually etching on them. So this one says this soap is not just for decoration, use it. I've got 3 of them with me. I'm going to pop them onto the shelf and see if people actually do like them or not, and if so I will make more and pop them online as well. So I've got those to go out. I have already packed the order that I got online. I only got one over the weekend, and it's really funny, if online orders are really quiet over the weekend, I generally find the shop is busy that week, and if it's busy online, the shop is quiet. It's really odd how it works. So hopefully past experience proves true this week as well, and the shop will be nice and busy. What else have we got? So I've done all that. I've put all my tea light cups away, which I got the other day when I was at the candle supply place. I had to make some more pens for my pamper pack and my orders that I've been giving away, and again I will be making a video on this very soon. I have these labels. I ordered these labels 2 weeks ago. I won't be going back to this company to order anymore, and I have told them. Big dilemma with getting them delivered. And it is because of their chosen courier company, who happens to be Aramax or Fastways, whatever they want to be called, severely stuffed up the delivery of this. And on the re-delivery of this on Monday, he almost didn't deliver it again. He literally we have this big walkway that goes from our front yard to our door, because our house is kind of situated in the middle of the block. So it's like this little walkway you go across, and he got halfway down the walkway and I could see him from my office, and he turned around and went to walk off with my parcel, and I've literally had to run from down the bottom of the stairs up to the top level and across our front yard to get my parcel from him. I was absolutely livid. And he says, "Oh, I heard the dog barking." And I said to him, "You've been to this house often enough to know that she is behind a 6-foot fence that she can't get out of, and she's also behind a crim safe door that cannot be broken down. You know, why were you going to walk off without even knocking on the front door?" "Oh, I did." And I said, "I can actually see you." And I showed him. So you look through there and you can actually see where I was sitting. I saw you. You didn't even knock on our door. So absolutely livid with him. But I've been waiting on these labels for 2 weeks now. Because what I've brought out over there are all these things which need labels on, because I've got all these gaps on my shelf. So that is going to be my first task for the day, is to print up all the labels I need and get my shelves restocked. I did actually write to the company I bought these from and told them everything. Like what I've told you is only like a fraction of what has happened. I wrote and told them everything that Aramax has done with this parcel, and their response to me was, "Oh, maybe you should consider having your parcel sent to a proper business address." And I just let loose. I said, you know, I'm a small business. I'm not open Monday, Tuesdays, which is when the parcel was delivered, so we still would have had the same issue. And obviously you don't want to deal with small business, so I said, "You've lost my business altogether." You know, and the fact that I'm ordering labels that go in a very specific printer, which is a few $1,000s, you would think that there would be a little bit, it doesn't matter what size business you've got, you'd think people would be a little bit more respectful when you are ordering. I mean, these labels here, just to give you an idea, was $190. That is not a small amount of money for labels. So clearly I've got a machine that specialises in these. I was just absolutely living over it, but they've lost my business. I'll go back to my original place, and the only reason I tried these guys was because they were about $10 a roll cheaper than what I have been paying, but I'd much rather pay the $10 more and know that I get my labels within 2 days of ordering them. So anyhow, we don't want another miserable vlog. So I've almost emptied that bag. We're going to get onto labeling. I've got the soap to cut, and we'll see where else the day goes. I do need to make some face cream. I've just noticed that all of my coconut foaming scrub has gone out of the refill bag, so we'll have to make some of that. And I think we need to make even more of the gentle foaming facial scrub. I can't keep on top of that. It's flying off the shelf. And plus I have some new wax which I'm going to be testing this week. So enough chatting, let me get on to working. Awesome has this one come up with all of those curly whirlies. Absolutely love this fragrance. It is Cashmere Woods and Tonka from Nurture Soap. I've just used the very last of it, which is a bit sad. I've had I think it was about a 250ml bottle, which I ordered a few years ago. It's been sitting on my shelf and I've been putting off using it because I really do like the fragrance and didn't want to finish it. But I thought, no, I have to finish. There's no point having it just sitting there. So on Sunday it was pretty quiet because it was cold in the morning, and I had some oil in the tank, so I warmed it up and made the soap. So we've just cut that one now. Even though this fragrance oil actually looks quite dark in the bottle, it you can make a white soap. It doesn't discolor. It's got quite a mild fragrance as well, so there's enough fragrance that you can actually smell it, but it's not overpowering, so it's perfect for the people who actually like a gently scented soap. And when I made this soap before Christmas, very similar style, I basically put it out on the shelf and it sold within a couple of days of me putting it on the shelf for Christmas. Everyone absolutely loved it. So I have just made the last loaf of that one, so that was another bottle I got to throw out. I'm going to go and put Ida away, and then I'm going to have some lunch. It is so important when you are running a business to actually treat it like you are going to someone else's workplace. So sit down and take a half an hour lunch break, whether you are popping out to the shops to go and grab something or you actually just sit down and read a book. It is so important to take that half an hour lunch break when you're working for yourself, and that is one of my sort of key things for making sure that I stay productive throughout the whole day, is giving myself that half an hour rest. So I'm going to go put Ida away, then I'm going to make myself some lunch, and then I'm going to sit down for half an hour and read my book. Okay, I'm almost at the end of the day. I've got 5 minutes until I need to bring everything in. It's been a really busy day in the shop, which is really, really nice, because we still only have one online order, which I'm about to take round to the post office. But like I said earlier, when it's quiet online, it tends to be busy in the shop. So, you know, it's all swings and roundabouts. Every little bit helps. I decided pretty early on today that I actually wasn't going to make anything today. I had an awful lot going on in the shop that needed to be put away, restocked, and that sort of thing. And when I get into this mess, I can't get my head in order, so I knew I had to actually clean up in here before I can actually start making anything else. So I have gone through, cleaned up all the benches, put everything away. I've written up on my board exactly what I need to do this week, so we'll make some of it tomorrow, including the face cream. I also need to do a stock up of some of the body wash, and basically all of the facial stuff needs stocking up, so we'll be doing that throughout the week. But we've got a nice clean slate to come into tomorrow to do that. So I'm going to head down to the post office, and then I'm going to go home, and I am actually editing a video tonight. I'm doing the tropical pineapple soap or something like that, which will be coming out this weekend just before the vlog. So I need to actually go home and go and edit that and decide what to have for dinner, because hubby's on the late again. But yeah, I'm going to go and do that tomorrow. We will be boxing up some little guest soaps as well. I've just printed up all the labels for them. So I will see you tomorrow. am so happy. I have finally fell in love with Big Ben here. So yes, before anyone says, I know that Big Ben is the name of the bell in London, and that was what this machine was actually named after. When I first got my lotion filling machine, every time I pulled the handle it used to chime like Big Ben the bell, and I did get in contact with the supplier of the machine and they told me it was the spring, I'd need to replace it. And what I actually found is every time I pulled the handle down, the spring was catching on a piece of metal, so I've just put something over that metal so it wouldn't actually catch. But then once we got the spring sorted out, it developed this squeak, and I could not use this machine without it screeching its head off, and I just hated it. I wouldn't use it. I would, if I did need to use it, I'd come in really early in the morning or stay late at night to use it when there were no customers around. And I was just about ready to actually sell it and get rid of the thing. I just thought, I'm just going to get rid of it. Someone can have it for $50 sort of thing. I thought, right, I'm just going to take the back off. So on the back of this machine you can actually take this panel off here, and I started pulling the handle to see, you know, what the mechanisms were actually doing on the inside, why it was making this horrendous noise. And I actually realized there is absolutely no oil in this machine at all, so as everything's moving it's just grinding against each other. So I ended up getting a little bit of fractionated coconut oil because it's got such a long shelf life, and I've just taken a little pipette and I've squirted oil all through the workings, and it worked. It no longer squeaks. So if you've got one of these machines that actually squeaks, take the back panel off, have a look at where the cogs and everything are, and put a little bit of oil. Make sure it's a food grade oil because you are putting products through here. Fractionated coconut oil tends to go into most of my products. It's one that doesn't have very many allergen concerns and stuff like that, which is why I went with that, and plus it doesn't go rancid. So that is a really good tip. I've got one more of these to fill up and then I'll show you what I've been up to today. Okay, I have finished popping them into the tubes and I've got the labels all done up ready to put on tomorrow. We've actually got a fair few things to label up tomorrow. I have a very small batch of my Alpha body wash. There's only 3 of them here. I tend to make my body wash in a base and then I make up the fragrances as I need them. I only have 1 on the shelf and it's my most popular fragrance in the body wash, so I just thought I'll make the other 3 just to fill the shelf up. I've also done some gentle foaming face scrub, and we've got the labels in here as well. I have a batch of the face cream over there cooling down, so we'll bottle that up and label it tomorrow. In terms of making the under eye cream, I can't actually make that tomorrow. Number one, I only have 2 of these tubes left, so I have put an order in to get some of those. And I also forgot to order my camellia oil. With everything that was going on last month, I forgot to actually put in a fairly big order, and one of those ingredients was camellia oil, which I used the last of in the face cream. I was going to make a batch of 15 and I only had enough to make 5, which I went ahead and made it because I've only got 1 face cream sitting on the shelf and that's not going to last me for the weekend, so I figured having 5 was better than none. So I did make that up and then I placed the order for my camellia oil. It's been really busy in the shop as well, lots of people coming in, and I had a really good chance to show off my brand new printed bags that arrived last week. I've been using these paper bags for a long time and I've either stamped on them or I've stuck a sticker on them, but I think I've kind of got to a point now where I need to move on from those sort of early days of branding. It's such a good thing to actually brand your bags when people are using really cheap marketing, but I decided I needed to move on from stickers and stamping, and I have actually got them printed. And the reason I went ahead and did it, I was actually going to get some proper boutique bags done up through another printer, but with everything that happened with the rent and everything else, which I will go into a little bit more maybe tomorrow, I decided I actually couldn't warrant getting these proper boutique bags done. So I went to go and get in my brown paper bags, and the company was having a little bit of a sale. So I figured the amount of money that was actually going to save on getting just plain paper bags for a little bit more, I was going to be able to get them printed. and that meant I didn't have to get any more stickers printed. I didn't have to spend hours sticking stickers on and all the waste that comes off the back of stickers as well. So I decided to get these done, and my customers are loving them. So many of them have actually noticed we now have these bags, which is really exciting when people notice those little things. So it has been a great day. I've got a little bit of a mess to clean up out the back before I go home, but first thing I need to do is pop down to the post office, and I have got a couple of orders to go out, and then we'll be back into the shop tomorrow, and I'll discuss with you a little bit more about the shocks that we had in June with regards to rent, and how I've actually dealt with that now that I've had a couple of weeks to think about it. So I'm gonna head off and we'll be back tomorrow. I will actually have to make some scrub first before we have a little chat, so I'll see you then. It is almost 3 o'clock and I am only just getting a chance now to sit down and start labeling all this stuff we've been making. So it's been such a busy day today. It's been so good. I said earlier in the week that usually if online is quiet, the shop's really busy, and it's definitely proved to be right again this week. I got into the shop actually about 5 minutes late because the traffic wasn't actually horrendous. There was a bit of road work going on where there's not normally roadworks, and I ended up having to sit at the roadwork lights for 5 minutes, which made me 5 minutes late. But I had somebody waiting to get into the shop as soon as I opened it up. And generally, if I have people queuing at the door to get in when I first get here, I know it's always going to be a good day, and it has. They came in, they got a few bits and pieces, and then put in a custom order for some lip balms for their business, which I've poured up today. And then I've had lots of other people, and something I've noticed this week is I've had a lot of people come in who have said that they watch me on YouTube And it just means such a lot to me when you guys do come in and tell me that. And then especially when some of you have traveled a fair distance to come and see me. Like, I'm talking 40, 50 minutes to come and see me. It really does mean a lot to me. So thank you so much. So I'm now taking a well-deserved 5-minute break. Well, 10-minute, however long we chat for. Sitting down and labeling these. So I wanted to go back over just a little bit about the last vlog we did. So many of you have sent me such lovely messages. If you haven't seen it, we had a big dilemma with them increasing my rent by quite a substantial amount and literally giving me 4 weeks to make a decision. Not even really 4 weeks. Now that I have actually had time to sit and look at everything, and I have also just done my tax for the business, it's not as bad as it first felt. I think I am still going to be quite okay with it all. It has just made me sit and think about a whole lot more. So when I first actually started my business, I had very clear direction. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. When I first started my business, I didn't realize it was going to get to this. And once I realized that I could actually grow this into my income, I had very clear visions on where I wanted my business to go, how I wanted it to operate. Now, unfortunately, with some of those changes that have happened, I'm having to reassess how my business is going. Now, originally, just to give you a little bit of an idea about it, and I will actually discuss it more with my patrons as well. Initially, my business was going to be, you have to come to me to come and get my products. A bit like Lush, Body Shop, Dusk, any of those really big companies that we know where you have to actually go to them to get their products. That's what I wanted for my business. I now understand that at this point in time, that model is not going to work for my business. I need to get myself a lot more established before I can actually adopt that true business model. So it's made me sit down and have a rethink about doing wholesale. Now, the reason I say a rethink is because when I did start my business and didn't realize where I was going to go, I was approached by people who wanted to do wholesale, and I got stung by them. And I got stung quite badly by a couple of them, and just decided, and that's where that sort of decision came from, that I'm not going to wholesale, you have to come to me if you want my products. And when I say I got stung, I had one company bought stuff from me. Had I been a little bit more knowledgeable about what was happening, I would have actually seen it. It was pretty close to Christmas. She ordered all this stuff saying that she was going to put them in gift packs and that she was going to have them available for sale in her florist. I started sending customers that I knew were in her area to her, and then a couple of the customers actually reported back to me that she wasn't selling my candles and that she'd admitted that she'd bought them as Christmas gifts. Now, at the end of the day, one would think, well, you got the money in your pocket, what's the difference? Or, you know, what's the problem? The problem is when you discount your stuff as wholesale, the idea is your products are getting out further, and sort of that discount acts as marketing costs. Whereas when somebody buys them and decides to give them away to family and friends for Christmas, your branding doesn't get as far out. So losing all of that profit for someone to do that, it's just not right. It's not fair. It's not the way that I want to lose profit out of what I make. And she was the one that really put me off, but I also had others that had been asking me questions about some of the products they were looking to buy. I naively gave them too much information, and the next thing you know, they were making candles themselves for their shops, and they literally started making candles one week and selling them the next. And it was at that point that I decided I'm not giving people that sort of information, because that is really, really dangerous. So I've been stung a few times on wholesale, decided not to do it. Sorry, had a customer come in. So yeah, I got stung so much by doing wholesale that I basically swore off doing it, and decided I was going to have this principle of you had to come to me to buy my products. But as I said, I've now realized that as much as I want that to be something in the future, I think for now I need to grow myself a little bit more, and I am now toying with the idea of getting back into wholesale. But we're going to have some pretty strict things in place to try and protect myself from people ordering, you know, for Christmas presents and that sort of stuff. There will be things like I will need to know what your business is and see whether or not you really do truly stock other people's products, preferably having ABN numbers and that sort of thing. So I am actually quite busy working on that at the moment, and I'm really excited. I've been getting quite a bit of advice from off of Rhonda, so thank you so much, Rhonda. She runs Nelson Soapery. She's one that also organized the soap and candle conference, and she has been helping out with that with me. So I'm getting really excited. We're just starting to build up a few extra little things. Not everything I do is going to be available for wholesale. It's only going to be a very limited range of what I have got. So we're going to start off lip balms and some of the soaps, and eventually I want to add things like shower fizzes and shampoo bars in there, and then we'll see where it goes, how popular wholesale is, whether it really is the right direction for my business or not. And then what I'm hoping by doing that is if I can build up a really good wholesale base in the next sort of 6 to 8 months, I can then actually really review where I go in terms of the shop. I won't be getting rid of the shop, don't worry about that. As I've said to a few people who said to me about closing the shop down and going to work back at home, that's not a consideration. The reason it's not a consideration, part of my business plan was to eventually be in a shop so that people could come and buy from me when they wanted, without me having to rely on markets that were constantly getting cancelled, weather and all of that sort of thing. So I won't be getting rid of the shop, but I will be having a little bit of a change. Almost, I'm kind of thinking if I can either find an industrial style shop where we have a little shop out the front and a big industrial factory style thing out the back, you know, in the, I don't know what they're in the industrial estates, and there's quite a few businesses like that. I just have to find the right location. Or there are a couple of other places that I saw while looking, which, you know, similar would come up next year as well, where I actually have that ability to do space for wholesale as I grow. So it's all up here in the head, and I am working really, really hard to try and get that sort of established. So for the next couple of months, I'm going to really start working hard on the packaging side of things, because anything that goes out into wholesale is going to have some nice packaging on it. So for example, these soap bars that are now in the nice boxes, these will be the soap bars that will get wholesaled, and I'll have a few other smells in those as well. And there's a few other products where I actually want to get some packaging done so I can put them out for wholesale. The lip balms, I'm really happy with how they look, so I'm not actually going to change the packaging on them. So they'll be among the first things that I do put out for wholesale, plus the soaps that I've got. And then, yeah, I'll be working on trying to build up the rest of that. With Christmas coming up, hopefully some of that money I'll be earning over Christmas can go to actually getting this sort of wholesale idea up and running. And then next year, it will hopefully all just fall into place. talking of packaging, I have got some more new packaging in. This isn't going for wholesale, but I did decide I wanted to get more professional packaging done. I have holster boxes. These arrived last week. Holster boxes for my soap bars. So again, we've got that sort of me time on the bottom, and these are just making it so much easier to package my soap. I've got 3 different ones. So this one is the soap bar in the decorative range. So this is whenever we've got any sort of piping, any soap dough work, that sort of stuff. These will be part of the limited edition decorative range. And then I have this one here, which is a limited edition one. So these will be like flat tops. Generally, if I make masculine or unisex scented soaps, they tend to be fairly plain on the top, but they might only be a limited run, so they'll go into these. And then I have a paler rainbow version here. This one is a limited edition with a little bit extra, so maybe it will be using my same normal soap recipe, but maybe it's got some poppy seeds, so the exfoliating soaps, or maybe I've put some vegetable puree or something in, so that will go into those boxes. Now these soaps that go in these will not be wholesale. They are limited edition. I make 18 bars of them and they're only sold within the shop, but I did want to invest in some nicer packaging for them. The same as what I said in the last vlog as well about these soap boxes when I got those in. It is about time. It's about all the costs that people don't necessarily think about. The getting in of the paper to print up belly bands for soaps, the wear and tear on the printer, the ink, the time to cut the labels, and all of that sort of stuff all needs to be taken into consideration. And now when I get these boxes, like they're all out the back, but come to me flat packed like that. I'm just popping them up, putting them in. I'm throwing my soap into the box like that, shrink wrapping it and out onto the shelf. And I did these ones the other day. Normally it would take me, with printing and cutting everything, all the labels and stuff, it would normally take me probably about half an hour to package up the soaps, like making sure I've got the way to put the information onto the label, cut it out and all that sort of stuff. Take me about half an hour. I did those the other day and it took me about 10 minutes just to pop them all into a box and shrink wrap them, and away they went. So it does save a considerable amount of time. So really happy with those. They'll start hitting the shelf probably in the next month or so, because I've still got a fair amount with the belly bands on, so I want to get rid of those before we start bringing out new packaging. But yeah, it has actually been quite a good thing what happened. So many of you sent me lovely messages. Now some of the things I will address, they could get away with what they did, because at the end of the day I was at the end of my original contract. My original contract was for 1 year with the option to add another year, so I'd already done the 2 years. So technically I was at the end of the contract, so they didn't have to give me any more notice than what they did. It was basically, this is the new contract if you want to go on it. It wasn't about increasing my rent while in a current contract. Also, the agent who originally did my contract made some pretty serious mistakes as well, and they were trying to cover their butts. He'd been missing stuff, which basically meant that the shop next door where the cafe was, which a whole heap of stuff went on with that one, plus another shop over on the corner there, they both got to leave the premises and leave them in a pretty bad state. One of them was a barber that had been in there for 20 years, and she did not put it back to as good, which means that you basically put it back to a blank shell. She left all of her sinks and chairs and everything in there, so they've struggled to actually get someone to take that lease because of the amount of work it was going to take to actually remove all of the barber stuff for someone that didn't want it to be a barber. So my new contract, it came up with all this stuff like I must replace the floor, any damaged floor must be replaced and fixed, the ceiling must be fixed, and I've actually just gone, whoa, no, because I took this on in the state it was in. The previous tenant had done part of the damage on my floor, and then the tenant from next door damaged the rest of my floor, and I'm not replacing it. So we've now gone through this contract. I've got it down to what it should be in terms of I don't have to fix any of the damage that was in here when I moved in. The rent, at the end of the day, as I've explained to quite a few that said about it, the rent that they're charging is still actually under what the average rent is in the place, like in the area. It's not as far under anymore, but it is actually still under. And hubby and I actually did hear something really interesting on the news, which is something I'm wondering if that actually sparked part of the increase. Somebody here in Australia has actually just been taxed for not, I haven't heard the complete story, but apparently they had a rental property and they weren't charging the elderly occupants full rent, and then this the homeowner has actually just received a massive tax bill for it, and there's some sort of precedent that's now being set about, you know, not charging enough rent. So I've got a feeling that the rent may have gone up because of that as well. It's a legal thing. They don't want to get caught out undercharging rent. So it is what it is. I am going to be fine. I've now had a few weeks to sit and reevaluate, and I'm really excited about what it's made me think about and where I can now actually take my business. If this hadn't have happened, there would have been a good chance that I'd still tick along doing what I'm doing. But this huge sort of thing, it really has made me stop and think, well, okay, let's reevaluate. Let's see what we need to do to make sure that I can keep this running. I also want to say a huge thank you to the person that said that you can't make a living off selling soap. Want to make a bet? I'm going to do it. Anyone who says to me, you can't do something, I'll prove to you that I can. There are so many businesses out there, and I'm not talking just the little businesses, but there are a lot of businesses out there that started little and they are now big, successful businesses, and they only sell soap or other bath and body products. That little company everyone loves to hate, Lush, they started off as a small make them in your kitchen business, sell them at markets, and look at them now. So don't tell me I can't do it, because I'll make sure that I will. Okay, so I have now finished labeling everything up. Everything I needed to make this week, apart from the under eye cream, because someone stuffed up the ordering, that has all been done. So I'll actually make my under eye cream next week instead. I've got all the shipping notices to say everything is on its way, but I'm going to go get this lot out onto the shelf ready for the weekend, because hopefully it's going to be another busy couple of days. It's been absolutely fantastic this week. It really has lifted my spirits. All right, I'm going to go get this lot put away, and then I will be back in for Saturday. Okay, so I'm just about to put in the last of these guest soaps. This one is called Kumquat, and this is one of the limited edition guest soaps. So this might be where I'm testing a fragrance to see how popular it's going to be. I might actually just be testing it to see how it behaves, or it could just be that I've had a little bit of fragrance oil left over from making other soaps, and it goes into making these soap bars. So I have two ways of using leftover soaps. They either go into these guest soap bars, or they'll go into the little Ray of Sunshines. Now each of these have a set amount of fragrance oil that they need, so depending upon how much is actually left will depend upon what I actually make with it. So that is the first of this sort of limited edition. I need to get a couple more off the shelf before I do anything with them. So over the next couple of weeks, what will happen is I need to have at least 3 limited edition ones for this next idea. What it will be is I'll do a bundle of 10 on the website, and you'll basically get one each of the 7 current guest bars that are available from the permanent range, plus 3 of the limited edition ones in the pack as well. And they're just a really nice way to welcome guests, to take traveling and that sort of thing. So I need to get another couple off there, which I think one more is should be ready tomorrow, and then another one should be ready in about 5 days, so next week. So hopefully by next month I'll have those little bundles up on the website. So there actually isn't a lot that I need to do today. There's no making, but I do have a lot of mess to clean up. It's not hugely messy. Let me show you. So it's organized chaos, really. I have a start of a little package over there that I want to send to someone, and I've brought down a couple of boxes that I'm trying out today. So that's going to be fairly easy. I also have another package here. Someone has sent me something that they'd like me to do a video on, so that'll have to wait until next week. I have the lip balms that I made yesterday that need to be tidied up and then labeled. So it's not too bad, but there is a bit of mess around, and it's not how I want to leave it. I also have, and it's probably not really going to show on here, there is a lot of leaf and sort of dirt debris that blows in through the door, so I do actually today want to do a vacuum and mop. I usually always do it, but I try to do it on either a Saturday or a Sunday, so I'm going to do that. And then out the back here you can see I've got the piles from where I sweep it up during the day. I've got to get rid of those. And then out the back here I do have a bit of tidying up to do. Down here I have got some bottles for a new product that I am releasing next month, so next week I'll be working on those, so we'll be able to get rid of that box. I will be bringing out some foaming hand wash, and for anyone that is part of the Pamper Club, when you place an order next month you will be getting a free bottle, but it does mean I've got to get rid of some of this mess out of here and tidy up all of this, put it away. I do still have to clean out the back here. We just leave the light off. I leave the light off for 2 reasons. One, the electricity's gone off, so I leave the light off out the back, and then I also can't see the mess either. So the other thing you saw me do this morning, I put the wax melt tank on. We've got this refill order that came in yesterday. I said I'd be making candles today because I've got a couple that need to go on the shelf. So I need to go and get this jar cleaned out, and then we can fill it. And the other thing I need to do today, I got this awesome delivery from George yesterday. You know, I got soap from him earlier this week, and I have been using one of his King of Suds soaps, the sandalwood and cedarwood one. Oh, smells so good, and it feels fantastic. I can really tell what this other oil that he's been putting in. You'll have to go and check him out if you want to know what it is. It feels so nice on the skin, and I am now even more tempted to come up with my own signature soap using this oil, because as I said, it's very on brand for me. So I want to have a go at making this signature soap, but in the meantime he did actually contact me to see, he was having a bit of a de-stash, and he asked if I wanted anything, and I did take a couple of things off his hands, including these little jars here. He also sent me some timber lids, and I plan on etching the timber lids with my logo. I think I was going to do him like a Christmas saying or something, but then it kind of limits people to only having them out at Christmas. Christmas, and I didn't want to do that, so I'm just going to etch my logo, or if I can find another really nice candle quote, I might do that on the top. So he sent me those, and he also sent me some matching boxes. Now I have tried it with the lid, and it does actually fit in the box with the lid, so I'm going to do a bit of test burning on this little candle here to work out what size wick I need. And then for Christmas, these are going to come out as limited edition Christmas candles. So really excited about that. I just have to decide what fragrances. I do still have Christmas fragrances from last year, so there may be a really good chance we'll just do a repeat on the fragrances again. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Clean up and do these candles, and then there's really not much else I need to do this weekend, so hopefully it will be a good one in the shop again. For now I'm going to start cleaning up while I wait for my wax to melt. So I've got about 10 minutes until the door closes, so I'm just taking those 10 minutes just to have a little bit of a sit down and label up my private label lip balms here. So I did manage to get these out of their pouring tray and capped, printed up all the labels. Tomorrow I will finish labeling them and put the shrink bands on, and then contact the customer to let them know that they are ready. I did notice on the cure rack I did have the tropical pineapple soap ready to be to be wrapped, ready to go away into the drawers, and I was using the new boxes. It just makes it so much easier. At the moment, I'm currently printing the name of what the soap is using a Brother P-Touch labeler, but what I would really like to do is order myself one of the handheld color printers. Particularly, can't decide whether to get the We Are Memory Keepers one or the Colop one, C-O-L-O-P. The problem with both of them is that they are fairly expensive, and I need to make sure that they'll actually print on this sort of surface. I know they print on anything that's porous, and I don't know if that's porous enough, so I don't want to spend $300 on a handheld printer that won't print on them. So I'm just holding off for now until times are a little bit better. Maybe it will be my Christmas present to myself this year, but for now I'm just using a little clear sticker, and it looks really nice on there, but it doesn't take long to package those soaps up at all with this new method. So I got those wrapped up pretty quickly, and then I actually boxed one of those up to send off to my patron on Monday, the person who actually suggested that I use pineapple toppers for that soap. So that will be on their way to them, and they get to see my new packaging. I also have another package under there that I am sending off to someone as a big thank you. And then I put the other soap away on the rack as well. Other than that, I didn't get much done of what I wanted to do. I did get the candles, which are behind me over there. All of those are poured. There weren't that many. A, because I didn't need to make that many, and B, I need to bring some more jars down to the shop, which I'll do next week, and actually stock up out the back there. I only managed to clean the front area of the shop today, which is actually more important than doing the back because it is the presentation side of things. But I am very much so one of these people that if there is a mess around, my head gets messy. So I need to make sure that I'm in a clean, tidy working environment. I can stand organized chaos, but I can't just stand mess. So when it gets to a certain point, I have to clean it up. So I did manage to do all of the front area. I'll get the back done next week, depending how tomorrow goes. So tomorrow, Sunday, we've got the markets on, so it depends how busy we're going to be as to whether I can actually duck out the back for a couple of minutes at a time and slowly clean up out there. But it's almost my home time, and I'm pretty excited because hubby and I are going to a market that I have not been allowed to go to for 2 years. So I'm really excited about it. If you followed along with me on social media for a long time, you know that I used to do a monthly market called the Twilight Makers Market. And not long after I stopped going there, I discovered I had been blocked on all social media, so I couldn't see anything about this market. And I found out because people were asking me when the next markets were on, and I couldn't access the pages to actually see when they were on. So because I'd been blocked on the social media, I've never felt that I could actually go down to the market, mainly because the person that was running it could be a little bit volatile, and she burns a lot of bridges. She'll just suddenly decide that she doesn't like you, and then she'll burn bridges. But then if she catches sight of you, she's also the sort of person who would kick up a stink, and I don't want that. So basically I felt like I couldn't actually go to these markets at all, and I've been really wanting to see a couple of the stall holders to get things from them, and obviously I can't get out to see them. So the markets have actually just been sold to some other people that I know, and also know how silly this other person could be and how often she burned bridges between people. Usually when they were having a success at something, she would just, have nothing more to do with you sort of thing. It really was very much a jealousy thing. And the new people that have taken it over have known that. They know who I am. And I said, am I allowed to come down? It's like, yep, of course you can. So they've unblocked me. I've actually got some of their market advertising in my window as well to advertise the market. And tonight I get to go down. She said tonight is the first night where it is solely them running this market. So I should be fine to go down there. There won't be any dramas. So hubby and I are going to do that tonight. I am so excited to go and see people that I've not seen for a couple of years now, just to go and say hello to them all. So very much looking forward to that. I would say I've got about actually no, I've got 2 minutes. So I'm going to finish labeling the rest of these up tomorrow when we're back in the shop, and hopefully we will have an awesome end to what has been an absolutely fantastic week so far. So I will see you for tomorrow. What an absolutely beautiful day it is out there, but it is a little bit chilly. It's about 8 to 10 degrees, which I know is not cold for some of you, but for where we are, especially being right on the water's edge, that is actually pretty chilly for us. Plus there's this real crispness in the air, because they reckon just out west, where we usually go on holiday out near Stanthorpe Way, they do predict that there is going to be snow possibly tomorrow, Monday, so you can actually feel that real crispness in the air when there is snow around near our borderline. So it is a bit chilly out there, but there are a lot of people out there, so that's a good sign. So I have put the heater on in the shop, and when I put all the stuff outside, I'll put my little come inside, it's nice and warm in here out there as well, so that entices people in. We have got a few things, or I have got a few things I need to do today. I need to finish labeling up the lip balm tubes for the custom order, and I've also got those candles sitting there that need to be done too. I also need to pick up a few things off the shelf which need new photographs taken for the website. So we've got a new moisturizer scent. One of my labels has changed just slightly, so I like to actually make sure that the photos on the website reflect what people are actually going to get, even if it is just a slight change in the color of the label or something like that. I always like to update them. I have a Pimp My Soap order that I need to go and pick and pack as well, and I actually have a little bit of work I need to do on the computer, so in between lots of customers coming in, I'm going to sit and do that as well. Hoping my mum comes in this morning, because I have been growing vegetables out the backyard. I will admit my winter patch hasn't gone as well as what my summer patch did, and I think that's because the trees have just grown so much that whereas it did well in summer, there wasn't enough sunlight for it for winter, so not everything really took. I've got lettuce in there, I've managed to grow carrots, and I've got garlic growing and stuff. And the other thing I decided to have a go at growing were parsnips. My dad and I absolutely love parsnips, but they're not very nice here in Australia. They tend to be really stringy and tough when you buy them. Basically, I think they just grow them too long, like they or too big, and then when you buy them in the shops, these are nice and soft, whereas in the shops they're always hard, and then they're just not very nice. I actually did pick, some of them aren't as big, they're a little bit smaller, but I picked a small one the other day just to see if they were ready to go, and it was just absolutely beautiful. I was worried because we don't get the frosts here that they weren't going to be sweet, but they were lovely and sweet and just really nice. So I've picked my dad's some. My mum's going to come and pick them up today, so I'll make sure they're in a place that I remember to give them to her. As you saw, Sunshine Street Foods is open this morning, so because it's her second time she's open on a Sunday, I'm going to go and give a little bit of support. I'm going to go grab some banana bread for my breakfast again, because it was really nice when I had it the other night. I am going to go and get my doors open and get on with the day. Let's hope for another really busy one. we are at the end of my working week and I'm going to have 2 days off. Not really. I've got a lot to do on my 2 days off. I have to actually make some shower fizzes on Monday because I only have a handful of the Refresh and the Spa Retreat left, so I've got to make some more of those. And hubby and I have got a few things planned that I need to go and pick up some packaging supplies and stuff like that, so we're going to go and do that on Tuesday because he's got Monday, Tuesday off, which is really exciting. I got an awful lot done. We've been super busy. It has been an absolutely fantastic week. It has been one of the best weeks that I have had in about 2 to 3 months, the absolute best, and it's really picked up my spirits and kind of reminded me, yes, you are okay, keep going. It has been really tough, but I'm hoping now that we're on this side of the tax year, at the start of a new one coming up to Christmas, things are going to start really picking up, and we should also be coming out of this little recession that we are in at the moment if the government allows us to finish the recession and move on. High horse. Anyhow, things are starting to look up and it's really brightened up my sort of spirits. I got a couple of orders come in today as well, one on Pimp My Soap. Pimp My Soap has been extremely quiet. I have tried everything to try and get people to buy on there and we're just not getting the orders. Getting lots of people buy the recipes but not the soap and the biodegradable glitters and stuff, and I was at the point of thinking, am I going to let this go? Because I'm up to the point of having to renew the website and I'm thinking, do I, don't I, do I, don't I? I'm going to give it one more year and see how it goes. But I did get an order for Pimp My Soap today and I also got one for Soy and Shea. So they are going off to the post office tomorrow. So thank you for the orders. It has been just such a great week. It's really lifted my spirits. It's so much so that I sat down with hubby yesterday and I said, you know what? It's my birthday, shop birthday in 2 weeks time, or about 2 weeks time, maybe 3 weeks, and I have done nothing. It's just been so quiet that I haven't been enthused enough to create the usual birthday packs that I would give out, because my shop birthday coincides with a great big market day that happens here in Cleveland, and I haven't even thought about doing anything. So I said to my husband, I've had such a great week, I'm in a much better frame of mind, hopefully things are going to be on the up and up. So another thing I'll be doing on my days off is actually sitting down working out what I can do for my birthday celebrations. The last couple of years I have given away little mini cupcake soaps. I can't do that because I haven't got any made, but I am thinking I do have the little guest bar soaps and maybe one of those and a lip balm. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to sit down and have a think about that on Monday, Tuesday, because hubby said to me, you can't let it go. You know, so much has actually happened. I fought so hard last month to keep this going. He said, you can't, you have to celebrate it, you have to get people aware. So that I'm going to do it. We're going to have celebrations coincide with Crazy Day and a little birthday treat to give out. It may only be a little lip balm that I give out to people, but just something to say thank you to people who have been supporting me. So I'll have a think about that over the week, my weekend, and see what I come up with. But as I said, it has been an absolutely fantastic week. Really has picked up my spirits. And so many of you guys who watch this have been into the shop this week and told me, I watch you on YouTube and we've had to come in. So thank you. It really does brighten my day, lift my spirits, and makes me keep going. So really excited to share some of the things I am working on in the future, and start, you know, showing a little bit more about it. But as always, this is going to be a super long vlog. Didn't do much filming today because I had so many people coming in, and in between I was basically sitting at the computer working. So it's not much footage for Sunday, but plenty of footage for all the days before. Thank you so much for coming along with me for this month's vlog. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up, any comments down below, because it really does help get the videos out to other people as well. And until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you then. Bye.